Avon years and years ago, oh, probably 40 some years ago for a couple of years before my first son was born, and loved it, absolutely loved it. And at the time, it was a way for me to get to know my neighbors. We were in a new neighborhood. We made some money. At that time, I was Mrs. Avon by myself, to the person I was married to. And I was able to help contribute to the household income as well. Fast forward now, second marriage and another child. And this one was a senior in high school. And at work, we used to have an Avon representative that I would buy from maybe once a year and get my 12 bottles of deodorant or whatever. And all of a sudden, that person disappeared. So I didn't know how I was going to get my supply. So I did find someone to help me, but it made me realize, we have all these people here who buy Avon. Maybe we could start a business here, and maybe my son could be the rep, and I could be his helper, and that way he could earn some money for college for the next year.
Yeah.
So we were talking about it at the dinner table, and my son's schedule that year was ridiculous. He says, "Mom, it sounds like a good idea, but when would I possibly do it?" And I'm like, I really don't know. You're right. I don't know when you would do it either.
Right.
So out of the blue, Bill says, "I'm interested." And our heads just kind of swiveled like, "Who said that?" He said, "Really?" He says, "Yes." So at the time it was $10 to join, and we went online, and I warned him. I said, "My life is crazy right now, so I can be a helper with you, but I will not be doing the business with you. I can only be a helper because that's all I can do." Because I knew from the way I liked it before that this was dangerous territory for me, because my tendency would be to jump in. So for our first order, I think I passed out books at work, he passed out books at work, and we passed out books to friends and so forth. I think we made, maybe $59, something like that. And Bill was just pleased as punch. He says, "That's pretty good." And I said, "That is not pretty good." That was the end of it. I was back in it. I couldn't help myself. So from there, we went to, leaving brochures in the neighborhood and knocking on doors and so forth, and building our customer base. And we've been business partners in this now for almost 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, so what are some of the things that you've done with money you've made?
Well, we've done various home refreshes. We redid the bathroom and got some new outside furniture for the backyard. And our biggest, for a while, we weren't really even.
You didn't even think about making money. It was a fun thing.
Right. I mean, I knew
that he was happy with $59. It was a fun thing.
That's what he was happy with. Now, I like to meet challenges, so I knew that we had to do better than that, but we didn't really have a plan for making money because we hadn't really planned on starting another job. So for a while, we just saved it. And then we decided to start, we knew we were going to travel with it, or that we were going to travel later on in life. And so we decided, well, why don't we use that for our vacation money and our travel money? So I had to write places down because we've been to so many of them. But we've been to Mexico, Argentina, Hawaii, South Korea, China, Senegal, Ghana, Morocco, cruises to the Caribbean and through the Panama Canal. We just finished a cross-country train trip, and we're making plans for a cruise to Tahiti for next year.
Oh my goodness. My husband and I have always wanted to do one of those train trips. So we're going to have to schedule a separate call for me to get the scoop, because we almost did it. When we went to California, we went to my friend's wedding, and my husband's just walked in the room. So I'm going to ask you to tell him, he's not going to let me show the camera. Her and her husband just went on a cross-country train trip. So tell us where you went. He's not going to let me show the webcam.
Okay. So what we did was we were in LA, and we caught the Amtrak there, and we had a sleeper car, and we took that from there to Santa Fe and got off the train because we wanted to explore Santa Fe. So we stayed there for 3 nights, then got back on the train, and then took the train on into Chicago. And then for us, it was easier to fly home from there.
Oh my goodness. So you went from Santa Fe, New Mexico, all the way to Chicago. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that was neat. So so it had stops along the way. You just didn't get off. You could buy the ticket that way.
Oh no, we bought the ticket that way. We bought the ticket from LA to Chicago with the stop in Santa Fe.
Oh, and then you could just get back on when you choose.
Mm-hmm. Mhm.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
that's neat. We looked at one from Los Angeles up the coast of
Mhm.
California to Portland, maybe. I don't remember. That wouldn't have been the coast because we had a day, but then we were thinking, can you really count on it being the time that it said in this ad? Because it was I don't think it was Amtrak. I think it was some special tour train or whatever.
Mhm. Mhm.
Anyway, we'd like to do it. All right, he's grinning. He's leaving. He's
It was
the
a good
opposites
time.
attract. He's not going to get on the webcam.
That's all right. That's all right.
Exactly. He's at least he's interested, right? I'm blessed. I'm very blessed. So okay, well, enough of that.
I need
So
I need to jump back to one more little piece. Come to find out that Bill's intention was different from mine. Mine originally for getting into Avon. I found this out like a couple years ago. He said the reason why I joined was because I knew that we were going to have an empty nest soon, and I didn't know if you would need something else to do. I said something else to do. I was already so busy. So he was thinking in terms of trying to have something else in the family that would keep me busy when my younger son went to school.
uh how
So, I'm like, well, you just learn something new every day.
yeah. And that
But,
and
mm,
that what a blessing that for he was thinking of that for you because I think empty nest is one of the most unprepared for or discussed. It's not something that you talk about like you did when you had little kids in diapers and you were going crazy because you didn't know what to do with teething and all that. You don't really, or I don't discuss with other moms. I don't. I mean, I was a mom.
mhm.
I was the driver and all those things, and it was such a hard transition for me. And it's been years. My sons are 31 and 33. Listen to me, I almost cried then. But we had just poured our lives into them and my Avon job. I mean, but I didn't have, I'm sad that I didn't really make friends with my son's friends' moms. It was
Mm,
like I was traveling all the time working in Avon. And so, we were acquaintances at the ballpark. We saw each other at practices, but they weren't people that then as the boys grew up and went on that I did things with. So it was
mm,
very much, I really threw myself into work.
mhm, mhm,
So
mhm.
now what type of work did you do before are you retired now, Linda, or you do Avon along with another job?
I'm retired. I'm a retired educator. I taught for 33 years.
Okay.
And that's a big part of the empowerment piece for Avon for me because I love to educate. Can't help myself. So,
Yes.
so our customers are always getting educated on products because that's what I do.
Right.
To find out about things and how they work and what they do and how they feel, and then I like to share that with them. Um, the piece that kind of gets interesting for me is, I mean, we're promoters, so we have one person. We're not leadership, very, very light.
Okay.
And and the thing that brought us into leadership was one of our customers decided, go ahead.
That's my no, it's just let me know that I have another call like this in 15 minutes. So we're good.
Okay.
We can finish in 15, right? So
One of our customers decided she wanted to become a representative. So that's what brought us into it. We were not really looking for it. Um, but I do like to educate representatives. That's a passion of mine as well. But my upline has been very gracious about allowing us to do that. We've done sessions together. I've done sessions on my own. I'm very passionate about goal setting and planning. We run our business. We try to run it like a business. So we set goals at the beginning of the year. And then we have 90-day business meetings to kind of reflect back as to how things went. We do quarterly planning worksheets and the whole thing. But
now
that's
who's your upline, Linda? Remind me.
Maritza and Anita. Maritza,
Oh my gosh, that's right. Don't you? I love Maritza. Okay. Okay. I thought, but I was like, wait a minute, who did I get this name from? I'm so sorry. I blanked out.
that's all right. That's okay. So both Maritza and Anita, and then when Kathy Miller was our district sales manager,
Yeah.
allowed us and encouraged us to share with our fellow representatives in various ways. So we've done workshops. I've done workshops on planning, and Bill and I have done one together on what do we call it? It was an Avon Spouses Night. Anita wanted an Avon Spouses Night for couples that were working together.
Yeah.
How we did that. Um, So
I haven't spoken with her since her mom passed. Have you talked to her? I'm sure you have because y'all are, or maybe you haven't. It hasn't been that long.
I haven't talked to her. I've emailed with her, but I think it's coming. But it's time. It's going to take time.
Yeah. Well, and there's a flood of emotions. I mean, even though you know it's coming, through hospice and all, it's still that
Yeah.
absence. But I know it's a relief that her mom's not, going through all she was going through. So I need to send her a card. Let me. I've thought about her 2 or 3 times, and if it doesn't get on the list, it's just a
Mm-hmm.
thought.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a
Um,
dream without a goal, without a plan is just a wish, right? Isn't that a quote?
mhm.
Okay, so let me tell you about this empowerment thing since we're running out of time. Card to Anita. We don't know how we're going to use this information, as would be fashioned sometimes at Avon. We have a great idea and we're like, let's do this. Well, can you give me some more details? Well, we're just not real sure how we're going to work all this in. So it may be that we do a series of posts on the Facebook page. It could be that we feature something on a call that's coming up, a gold leader call or a training call for representatives. We may do something along the lines of the newsletter, the beauty blog. So my goal by Friday is to know how we will use the story. We know for certain it will be Rep Fest or post. So that's the reason we were trying to crunch it all in this week, because really after today, I am primarily focused on Rep Fest to get there. So it's like we did a few interviews last week and we're wrapping all those up today. So what we would like to do in the story is tell, here's how my life was, and then as a result of Avon, and yours may be different, so we may have to think about how would we say that. And with Avon, this is how it is now. So I'll give you a few that we've had before. Before Avon, I felt less than. And at Avon, I've learned that I deserve the best. That was what one representative shared. And I thought, oh, wow, that's great. Before Avon, I would never talk to a stranger. Now I'm confident in being able to approach anyone about my business. So those are a couple of examples. And they're from real places of Avon really helped them, grow and change. So not that hasn't happened for you, but you already had the passion for education. So I'm wondering, how could we fit that phrase or sentence?
Well, here are a couple of thoughts. One would be, we have to figure it out how to do the before and the after, but it has helped. It has been a really neat thing for our marriage because we were just a couple years into our marriage at the time.
Okay.
And so running this business together has, we've had to figure out how do two people run a business together.
Yeah.
What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? What do we like to do? What do we not like to do?
Uh-huh.
Because we really do run it together.
Yeah.
So that's been a real blessing for us to be able to, we didn't see that. We didn't have any idea that was going to happen.
Okay.
So I think that one of the before things, not that we had a 2-year marriage, we were early in, but
sure,
we've been able to grow as a couple through Avon.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I would say for sure.
Uh-huh.
Because it's revealed a lot about each other to each other. And, I can count on you to do this, or you need to do that. Or sometimes we can be interchangeable. There are times with our customers when we try to be interchangeable, but there's some things that, one person likes to do and the other person doesn't, or how to say. So it fits pretty well together. And another thing too, we've had different waves in our life where one person has had to do more with Avon and one person has been able to do less because of what's going on at work. True. And we're able to make those adjustments together. So that's been a real plus for us. The other thing I would say, for me, I feel like Avon really fits like a glove because this whole thing of being able to educate, being able to problem solve and create is so much fun for me. I love that. Running your own business is all about challenges and how do we figure them out and how do we make it work? And to me, I need that. I need that brain food. Avon provides that for me. And then, of course, the traveling piece has been fabulous. I mean, these are lifetime trips of a lifetime. You know, to be able to do that has just been wonderful. And the other last piece is just being independent, being a beauty boss. That means a lot to me because my last job, there was a chain of command, and you know, I would have to. I had to check in with people about things that needed to be done or whatever. I mean, there were some decisions that I couldn't make on my own because other people had to be involved in them or make those decisions. That's not the case now. I'm now either I can check with Bill or I look in the mirror and say, "Self, what do you think?"
I love it.
I love it too. I love it.
Oh.
That means a lot to be able to do that. So that
Yeah.
autonomy is key. So I'd say again, Avon fits like a glove for
Sure. Well, I can totally understand why Maritza sent you in the list. What a pleasure for me this morning. So, you know, and this is where Rebecca will come in. She will take those last 3 or 4 things that you shared and help to, you know, and that's the beauty of her being, she does this. She can say, what if, or, you know, what about that? The one question I do have is that when you were working and preparing to retire, of course you were already in Avon, but had you ever thought in the past, say before Avon, what will I ever do or will I ever retire from teaching? I mean, did you ever think that would be something that would be sad for you, or not like you wouldn't ever want to do it because you wouldn't know what you would do with yourself?
No, I was not
Okay.
sad about retiring, but I'm also a choir director, so I get my teaching and music fix there as well.
Ah.
But I mean, I was not thinking I needed another thing to do. No. I think that might have been Bill's worry, but I'm like, oh my goodness, I have a whole list of things I want to do in retirement. And so I had to pick and choose from that list. So, and that's a challenge I think with Avon too. That's one thing that to try not to let Avon overwhelm.
Yes, because you can do it 24/7.
It's so easy, you know. So there are other things I want to do in my life besides Avon.
Well, and Linda, as you build a team, I think that's so key, because what happens so many times is people just love Avon. You know, I mean, that's with my work. I mean, I think I've never felt my children have a little bit of animosity to Avon, especially my younger son. Like, we were on vacation and he's like, I can't even believe they're expecting you to work. And I'm like, they're not. This is better for me that I take an hour each morning and I do my email, because I don't want to come home to 1,000 emails, you know. And he was really like, I can't believe they're expecting you to do that. But what we do, because we love it and because it's so much a part of our life, then to the outside person, though, they say, oh, if you have to do Avon like on vacation, I don't want to do that. So I've had to really work to not, and even though my role is different from yours, to measure who can I respond to while I'm on vacation, you know, who's going to get me out of office, but also who am I going to contact over the weekend, or is that the right thing to do? Because I think we need to demonstrate that we can still be a wife and a mom or the choir director and have a successful business. So because you're doing that, if you choose to build a greater team, you'll be a great role model to say, oh, you don't have to give up, you know, this or that. So.
But on the other hand, we were on vacation at the same time. That same period that when it was complicated. I was trying to keep up with the collaboration calls and all that stuff. I was in Mexico and I was trying to make the internet work, and it was crazy. It was crazy. But so that's why I kind of disappeared for a couple weeks, because
that's fine. And and it's summer too. You know, we've had a good learning about this time frame.
It's rough.
Well, it's so hard because we really were aware we needed to wrap up before Christmas this year, but that still takes us through Thanksgiving. So it's like, what do you do? But next year we really may take a break and not do a summer session, because people are traveling, their kids are out, and so that was a lesson. But it'll mean that we can't do, you know, we'll only be able to do 2 sessions next summer, but it is what it is. So. Okay, well, I've got 4 minutes. So any questions from you, or any last word you want to throw in? This has been great.
I was just going to say, so we were on vacation. We were getting orders while we were away. Most of our customers knew we were away, but some forgot. So, we're on the train taking, hello, y'all, I'm not home at the moment, but yes, you can give me your order. Yeah.
I'm in my traveling office, and I love it when people put, I'm at my beach office today, and that really does demonstrate this is a business that goes on the road with you. A representative's dad has just been diagnosed with cancer. And so she's just went there, she's went to their home. They don't, they're finding she's an only, well, I think she has a brother, but, she said, Tammy, I can do everything I need to do from here. My family, my husband can handle. I'm going to stay at my dad's until we get the doctor's appointment set. And she's just doing her business from there. I mean, certainly her home deliveries are going to be different, but she has a lot of direct delivery, so she's just pushing on. And
I love that flexibility.
Oh, absolutely. Well, it's been all my pleasure. A great way to start my day. So I'll be in touch by the end of the week.
Okay.
Thanks, all right. Tammy. Have a good day.
Talk to you tonight.
All right. Oh, that's right. I haven't even thought about that. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.